Jen Rosati and Dawn Staley and all those folks that Cheryl Reeve, who had a hand in Caitlin Clark not making Team USA last year in the Olympics. It looks like they may be now. Cheryl Reeve's still there, but the actual committee.
The concern is real. Caitlin Clark could actually make Team USA, and the long-established WNBA media figures are feeling the pressure. The same voices that once seemed to sideline her are now watching their influence fade, almost as quickly as a Diana Taurasi layup in 2024. Sue Bird has changed the narrative, and the fallout is bound to sting. Here's the situation. The WNBA insiders who previously kept Caitlin Clark off the Olympic roster are now seeing their influence crumble, and they're clearly struggling to handle it.
Caitlin Clark, WNBA Rookie of the Month, packing arenas while averaging 17 and 6 assists. That's not enough to make the Olympic roster.
Caitlin Clark, the WNBA Rookie of the Month, has been drawing huge crowds while averaging about 17 points and 6 assists. Yet somehow, that still wasn't considered enough for an Olympic roster spot. The last time around, Clark was clearly left off Team USA, and it's hard to argue it was purely about experience. Many saw it as politics, favoritism, and the same entrenched inner circle trying to maintain control for another Olympic cycle. This time, however, things look different. Sue Bird now holds significant influence. Team USA's new setup mirrors the men's program, with one person leading roster construction, and that responsibility now belongs to Sue Bird.
I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to allow that.
Can we just like call a spade a spade? Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Mm-hmm. Caitlin didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all of us, that other people are surprised by this. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to tell you. And once again, for so long, as a player, I would almost joke. I'd be like, I would have loved to have shut up and dribble. Mm-hmm. In so many ways, I would have loved to have been valued as a basketball player. I would have been loved to have been spoken about just for my play. Mm-hmm. I think
And who did Sue Bird publicly back, while many of the old guards seemed stuck in the past? Caitlin Clark. Regardless of any raised eyebrows about Sue's political associations, yes, people have noted her connection to Megan Rapinoe. When it comes to basketball, Bird has consistently spoken candidly. She's been clear and outspoken. Caitlin Clark deserves the chance to represent Team USA. When Clark was left off the Paris 2024 Olympic roster, the backlash wasn't limited to fans. Even Adam Silver, the commissioner of the National Basketball Association, publicly suggested the decision was a major mistake. This wasn't just social media chatter. It was one of the most influential figures in basketball openly questioning the Olympic selection process.
It's also totally legitimate to say, we roll in the Olympics every year. We can afford having, someone who's the 20th best or 24th best instead of the 12th best because of what it would potentially do to grow the game. That's legitimate. And I also think that door somewhat got open brew by Diana Taurasi's inclusion. So Diana, and we can show you their numbers. They're having a shockingly similar season. So points and rebounds basically identical. Field goal percentage is identical. Caitlin has way more assists and way more turnovers to go along with it. Diana has very few assists, very few turnovers. So Caitlin's not yet in her prime. Diana's past her prime.
He wasn't the only one raising concerns. Basketball executives, marketing teams, and even casual analysts all made the same point. Leaving her off meant sacrificing money, viewership, and momentum. Women's basketball had a chance to surge globally, but instead the spotlight stayed elsewhere. Meanwhile, Diana Taurasi delivered very limited production in the last Olympics, recording a DNP in one game, scoring just 2 points in another, and making little overall impact. That's why many observers questioned why she was selected over Caitlin Clark, who was already generating enormous buzz. Critics argued the committee, led by Dawn Staley, Jennifer Rosati, Cheryl Reeve, and others, was prioritizing veteran legacies and internal continuity rather than simply choosing the most informed players. The backlash was significant. Now that decision-making structure has changed and Sue Bird has a major role, Caitlin Clark's name has re-entered the Olympic conversation, and the renewed debate is echoing across ESPN and WNBA social media circles.
Sue Bird won 4 WNBA championships. She was an All-Star 13 times, one of the more decorated basketball players in history, and also 5-time Olympic gold medalist. Just named USA Basketball Women's National Team Managing Director. That's a hell of a title there. Is that on your business card? And what exactly does that mean, Sue?
Need like a business index card at this point or whatever. Managing director. It's basically what Grant Hill did for the men's team. So like a GM, pick the coach.
Here's the key point. Sue Bird isn't focused on politics. She's focused on performance. While critics were busy picking apart Caitlin Clark's absence from Olympic training camp, Bird was paying attention to the bigger picture and watching Clark transform the game.
I'm going to guess she'll probably be on the next Olympic team. Just guessing.
I mean, TBD. You got 3 years.
Exactly. Caitlin Clark didn't need any insider approval to make an impact. She brought millions of new eyes to women's basketball without trying to ingratiate herself with the old guard. She helped push the sport back into the mainstream on her own terms. Meanwhile, critics argue the selection committee was focused elsewhere, with Diana Taurasi still front and center. The numbers tell the story. The WNBA saw record-breaking ratings. Clark's debut games with the Indiana Fever quickly became must-watch television. Her jersey shot to the top of sales charts, and ticket demand surged. You know a player is changing a landscape when opposing teams start moving games to larger arenas just to handle the crowd. That's Caitlin Clark. Yet the argument was that she wasn't ready for the Olympics. Critics strongly disagree. Many believe the concern wasn't readiness, but the potential impact. She might have overshadowed established veterans and shifted the spotlight. From that perspective, the decision was framed publicly as an experience issue, while Diana Taurasi, a highly decorated veteran, remained on the roster despite limited on-court production in the most recent games. What's clear is the timing mattered. Missing Paris 2024 means Clark's Olympic career timeline is pushed back by 4 years. That naturally makes chasing Taurasi's long-standing Olympic records much more difficult unless Clark maintains elite performance deep into her career. Gatekeeping at its finest, but karma moves quickly. Sue Bird isn't playing that game. Her first move as managing director was to eliminate the old committee. Her second was to restructure team selection to mirror the NBA model. One decision maker, one vision, and you can be sure Caitlin Clark is at the forefront. While some WNBA media try to act calm, the fear is palpable. This changes everything. The cozy old echo chamber has been shattered. Clark is in, and there's nothing the old guard can do about it. Those same voices who mocked her last summer are now scrambling, backtracking in real time. She wasn't not ready then. They just weren't ready to let her shine. And it's not just about Clark. Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, and the new wave of talent are coming, and they're not here to play politics. They're here to win. Caitlin Clark isn't just ready for Team USA, she is Team USA. The old guard tried to block her, favoring a veteran Diana Taurasi with minimal impact, but Sue Bird has changed the rules. Clark's popularity, dominance, and business impact make her impossible to ignore. She brings ratings, ticket sales, and global attention, elevating everyone around her. This isn't charity. It's common sense, overdue, and a full reset of WNBA politics. The system is finally catching up, and the Clark era is officially here.